Today I'll be making an old-fashioned Belizean dessert, trifle. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. So these are the ingredients that we're going to need, and you know, as usual, like with anything I do here at the Bear Pantry Show, very few ingredients and very simple. 3 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 eggs, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, some lemon extract, 1.5 cups of sugar. We're going to use some evaporated milk. I'm not sure how much yet. It might not be this whole can. I'll let you guys know as we go along. And of course, I'm not going to be breaking open any coconut and grating it because that's Joe's job and he's not here today. And I'm using this is a cup. This is about a cup of flour. It's actually 2 sticks if you get the flour by the quarter, you know, like the 4 quarters. But I get, did I say flour? I mean butter. Anyways, I get the butter like this in a whole pound. And so I just cut it in half, but this is actually 2 sticks or 1 cup, okay? And this is all we're gonna need, and we're gonna move over to the KitchenAid and get started. So all I'm doing here is I put the butter and the sugar in the KitchenAid. And if you have one of the hand mixers that I'm doing for my raffle right now, you'd be able to use that too, okay? So let's get the machine started. So I've creamed the sugar and the butter for like 15 minutes, so now I'm gonna add each of the egg like one at a time. And just make sure it gets worked in there. Clean off all the mess with a spatula. So let me go ahead and add them one at a time. So my eggs are getting mixed in there really well. Sometimes I'm fighting with this thing, I'm not as quick. And I'm gonna add my baking powder. And let that get mixed in really well. Because at this point, let me go ahead and add my extract too, okay? Because I don't want to forget this. And this is supposed to be like a couple teaspoons. I'm going to measure it instead of just pouring it in. That's 1. That's 2. So all the ingredients that I have left now is the milk and the flour. And I'm going to go ahead and pour the milk out in a measuring cup because I want to see how much we actually use. So this is 12 ounces of evaporated milk. So we're going to start with the dry ingredient first. So we're going to start with some of the flour. So here we are. Make sure that the dry ingredient gets worked in first. Then we add a little bit of the wet, okay? And I'm just going to be doing this back and forth until I get this all worked in, and at the end I'll show you how much of the milk we actually used. Okay, so this is the last little bit of the milk, and let me shut it off so you guys can hear me. I'm going to end up using all of the milk, okay, 12 ounces, so let me get it worked in, and then I'm going to move on to my adding my coconut flakes. I wanted you to see the batter is a little bit thicker than when I do my cakes. So it's not, you know, as thin, not too much, but a little bit thicker. So I stopped it at this point from the KitchenAid because I want to go ahead and fold the coconut flakes in. So let me get this bag open. So this bag has about 14 ounces of coconut flakes. I would say maybe 3 to 4 cups. I don't want to put too much. So I think that's about 2 cups, almost half the bag that we've added in here. And I don't think I want to add too much more than that. That's my oven telling me it's ready. I've preheated it on 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to get this baked. I think this is going to bake pretty fast because this thing is thick. So I'm going to get like a 9x9 or an 8x8 pan because I don't think a 9x13 will work. It'll be too flat of a cake, okay? So let me get a pan. I'm going to grease it and flour it. And then when I come back, I'm going to be pouring this into the pan. Look at it. It looks pretty good. It smells pretty good too. So we're going to have kind of a thick cake. A thick. That's my Belize word for the day, okay? Thick. Thick in Belize means thick. Anyways, let me get the bowl cleaned out. And my oven's ready for me, like you guys know. So I'm going to stick it in there. And we're going to time how long it's baked for. See you guys when it's done, okay? It's time for our finished product. So here's our finished product of the trifle. And look, it was so thick, I couldn't use a toothpick. to insert it in there to check to see if it's done. I have to use like a barbecue skewer, right? So here we are going in the middle, and it comes out clean. So that's how we know that the cake is done. It looks just like I remember. I'm going to let it cool for a little while, and then I'm going to take it out, put it on the rack, and then I'm going to cut the first slice so you guys can see, all right? Give me about 10 minutes. Here's the trifle. I'm having it cooled on the rack. And let's see the first slice. So see, just like I promised, it came out awesome. Not dry, not heavy. It was moist and light, and even the coconut flakes was a nice added touch for me. I absolutely loved it. I realized that this is more of a British type dessert, and that it is made a little bit differently, you know, in each country and in each culture. I know some people put custard and they put fruits and stuff like that, but for right now, we're just doing this like a sort of a cake, and something that you can eat, you know, with your cup of tea. And next time when I do it, we'll figure out if maybe we want to put some type of a frosting, maybe some type of a light frosting or something on it. But for right now, we're just going to serve it like this. And what I'm going to actually do is share it with my neighbors, because I don't want a whole lot of it left around, right? Remember I told you guys to do that? You know, don't gain any weight because of the foods we're making. Make it, get a nice portion of it that you want, and share. Share. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for picking up the book. This recipe is not in the Belizean cookbook. I only put 101 recipes in that book. And as we go along and we learn new recipes, I'm just going to keep filing them in the program. And eventually, when we get to a certain amount, I'm going to make another book. That's why Jada is actually making a book, because those recipes are hers, and I want her to have them as uniquely hers. And anything new that we're learning, we're going to put in a new book, okay? Please share the show for me. And keep on sending me your comments, because they're very uplifting. Sometimes when I get tired from working at my day job and I have to come in here and I'm like, oh, I got to do another show. And then I see the wonderful comments that you guys send. It really helps. Until I see you again, take care.